4, 3, 2. Good evening, Internet. The time is 6:41 p.m. on July 9th, 2023. This is Haystack Hates Your Music, Episode 7, Haystack Hates R&B. I am your good friend, Chris Kennard, joined always by the ever-informative Haystack West, a.k.a. Good Old Los. Good Old Los, what's the good word?
I love R&B. It's actually one of the two genres I genuinely love. Well, three if you count just grunge.
Oh, man. I gotta tell you, we already have a slated schedule for the rest, all the way to episode 10. I can't wait for the end of that hiatus so we can just crank up the next 5 because I've got to specify grunge. And what I think I will do for that, we gotta split the duties. So 2 of your best, 2 of my own, so we can just fully just dive into the waters because there's a conversation to be had about the role post grunge played in terrestrial radio that I feel like none of us want to have, that I would love to have with you. But that is neither here nor there. Usually we'd start these episodes with a 20 to 30 minute talk about wrestling, but I don't think we have the time for that right now, considering how important this genre is to the culture, to our people, and to us personally. I almost feel like we're taking R&B to court, and we have the ghost of Luther Vandross presiding as judge. So as the defendant of
The ghost
of the
Luther
culture and of the
Vandross. Ducky.
or according to Google, Master P.
My God.
If you heard about that shit recently.
Yeah, say you will, make them say, That's crazy.
Would Mr. Los please take the stand? What's your opening statement on R&B?
Yeah, so as I said before, I love R&B. I grew up on, well, I'm a child of the 90s, so I grew up on 90s R&B, and 90s R&B were mostly ballads and or New Jack Swing. And so that's pretty much my baseline, because you just couldn't miss in the 90s for some odd reason. But then you go back into the 80s and you couldn't miss in the 80s either. But then you go back into the 70s and you couldn't miss in the 70s either. And it all goes back to Smokey Robinson,
King of the Gasms,
and essentially the invention of Quiet Storm R&B. Once R&B got into that stage, that pretty much not even broadened, it expanded the genre into a near limitless set of possibilities, because you can do just about anything slow. You can sing about love and it always sounds good. Love is dope. You know what I mean? So with that being said, once the soul ties of R&B started to slow down, you just got so many bangers. And then you got the birth of legendary artists that you know and love today. And if you're a youngin, the name rings bells. Like you said, Luther Vandross, Whitney Houston, hell, TLC, if you go into the 90s. Anita Baker, Minnie Riperton, Maya Rudolph's mother, by the way.
Every time I hear it, I always seem to forget every time I get told. So wow,
Yeah. So
You can put your second load in.
I'm recording right now.
Oh, okay.
So phrasing. But but yeah, it's these artists and I probably said this on air about hip hop as well. These artists led to a you know, influential ride of evolution where you got like I said, you got Minnie Riperton in the 70s and 80s, but that evolves into Mariah Carey in the 90s, which eventually evolves into Ariana Grande today.
Modifying everything.
You know what I'm saying? Like every modern singer has a a background, I guess you could say, a influence, a like somebody that just this the path that they came from. But don't really want to 100% acknowledge it. And that 100% concerns me for the simple fact that, again, Ariana Grande comes from that ilk, but it's like I think her influence only goes as deep as Mariah Carey for the simple fact that Mariah Carey is the closest to her like generation. But it's like if she dug deeper, oh buddy, Ariana Grande could be something different because she has the voice range for it.
Yeah, it's like yeah, you mentioned if like Grande dug deeper, who knows what could occur going forward in her career. And like we mentioned Mariah Carey, but like Ariana Grande could have fucked around, turned the corner, and run smack dab into the vocal Bible herself, Brandy. You know what I mean?
Brandy and Brandy comes from the line of I'm trying to think of um your stronger, broader, uh slightly raspier type of voice. And honestly, I think Brandy was the first of her own because I can't think of any at the moment. Like
Hence the
I could
nickname.
possibly ask my mom and she'd probably have an answer of like, somebody that came from that type of line. But I can't think of one at the moment. Like Whitney Houston, I don't think a lot of singers could really compare to her. And Brandy is about as close as we get.
Yeah, I would agree.
Brandy or Mariah.
Yeah, and
Like
like
if you done a song with Whitney Houston, like a duet, you're pretty much in like an echelon, a certain echelon, like a special echelon, a unique echelon. It's not above anything. It's like outside of the regular tiering. It's like the hidden bonus level in Crash Bandicoot.
everybody except maybe like Jordan Sparks.
Jordan Sparks is an artist that has a voice, but for some odd reason, like after No Air, we really had to look for her.
Well, I'll say, but I don't mean to sound shitty when I say that, but like because like a friend of mine, back in the day, he was like, "Hey, dog," back when like we all couldn't rely on streaming services for music. My boy was like, "Hey, I know you have an iTunes subscription. Buy these songs for me. Burn them to a CD for me." And one of those songs was like Jordan Sparks' collaboration with Whitney Houston. But this was like at the tail end of her career, so like we didn't have like the it wasn't like at the I Have Nothing portion of her career. I believe they worked on a movie together, which is why they got in the booth together. And so like, and and I won't make a comment about how Whitney sounded on that song because that's neither here nor there. The fact of the matter is, Sparks won American Idol, got an album off the ground, had at least maybe like 3 songs hit national syndication, but nothing after that really happened. I believe she was on Broadway, and I think
Yeah,
she was on In the Heights, and that's freaking awesome. And so for the people in her corner to not keep that momentum going is on them and not on her.
exactly. And that's what all boils down to. A lot of these artists you hear from, and you're like, man, they got pipes on them. Like I'll hear more from them, and then like they just fall off the face of the earth pretty much. It's pretty much like your team let you down, and not a lot of artists know how to make it work for themselves. You know.
Oh, I will certainly agree. I wanted to like bring up this one subject I saw in like a Rap XD video or something like that. I forget the name of the YouTube channel, but they're like, oh, like it seems as though the dudes in like R&B gave up, or rather, we stopped seeing the same kind of R&B star rise to prominence, which takes me to our list today because anybody who's gone, oh crap, lost.
I know what happened.
Whatever could that have been?
Begging stopped being cool.
That's a very interesting answer. Because like okay, hold on. So I have a question. I have a question to your answer. In regards to like the subject of begging, as far as just like as a subject for R&B, where does yearning fall on that scale? Close to the
Begging.
bullseye or what?
Definitely on the begging end of the spectrum.
Okay.
It's not fully begging, but it's like
okay.
If this is the middle ground, and then like being toxic and not giving a fuck is this way, and then begging's the other way, like yearning is like right here.
Okay, we are on the same type of time.
You know
And like
yearning is like, man, I need you right now, but it's like right now. You know what I mean? Like it's a little loophole-ish and complex, but
yes. Okay.
it's not fully begging.
Okay, because all right, here's because like before I want to like introduce the songs to the people. We're not going to talk about them yet, but I want to like discern some context because I feel like a fraud, but I want to own my my background with the culture, if you will. For those who do not know, our list for Haystack Hates R&B is as follows. I have to re-pull it up because I had the wrong link in my my tabs. Please pardon the delay, good people. I appreciate y'all. I gotta go with my A to Z playlists. There are almost too many of these now. Gotta go to the H's.
While you look for it, if I may expound a little bit. But yeah, like back in the day, back the Nehu days as I call it, because they start songs off with Nehu. You knew they were about to do some begging, buddy. Like nobody's out in the rain dancing in black leather anymore. Nobody's out in the desert dancing in white linen anymore. Like it's just they don't have that want to. It's pretty much like, oh, you want some other shit, so I can't fuck with you type of shit. And you know, I do this, I like cheating and this, that, and the third. It's like,
we got it, Future. We got it.
What are we doing here? Like, is this R&B? Like, what's the blues in it? The blues that you have, that you need therapy? I don't get it. Like back in the day, they would sing, you know, how much they want you, how much they need you. Like, in regards to sex, like they were so anxious to see you. You know what I'm saying? Like they couldn't wait. There was, you know, there was a certain want to, and you know, R&B subject matter back in the day. They don't really like want to be in love. They just want to talk about how hurt they are.
One thing I will say in regards to Nehuing, like the I feel as though the only representation we have is like that one song by Masego when he and Lo-Fi linked up with that rock band Sean to write a song called Nehu. And I'm like, other
That's
than
right.
that, there's really like there's no like Nehu playlist. I know two niggas that talk about Nehuing, you and Kev on stage, and like who love some R&B despite his like his ignorance of Anita Baker at the time and things of that nature.
That's where the hell I got it from. Like I saw the video. I was like, you know what? You're right, Kev. There's no more Nehu. I thought about. I was like, dog. Troops rendition of "All I Do Is Think of You." Nehu. To open that up, and that might be closest to the best rendition since the original. And I think we all know who sang the original.
Who?
Jackson 5.
Oh,
With
I see.
With a Michael Jackson going through puberty singing it.
Wow.
Yep.
Gotta say, quick an aside to that, it's like, how lame is that I can hear Dancing Machine by like the Jacksons every day at my job and get sick of it. That should be a crime against fucking humanity. How dare you like commodify Dancing Machine?
Well, if 9 times out of 10, if you work at a retail outlet, a retail store, you got to listen to a playlist of songs all day, every day for multiple months. And so when a song that you actually enjoy is on the playlist, you eventually get tired of it. Buddy, I worked at Models at one point.
I will say that a fair chunk of music is exempt from like becoming dog shit. It is a small little handful, but it is most certainly there. And I have worked for years to build a playlist that is 24 hours long of all just like safe for work songs and like one song per artist. And I'm like, you can do this shit and like play shit that's pleasant to the ear without making your associates want to unalive themselves. I'm like, you could take it from store to fucking store across America. You could partner with a DSP. So like motherfuckers are still getting their little pennies and shit. And like, you're still like, it's like, you could pay like some shitty third party to play like adult contemporary, and and because then like you run the risk of like going to another store on when you're not clocked in most of your week and hearing Constant Craving by Katie Lang and just like moaning and like Katie Lang deserves her flowers. We don't want to do that shit.
Nah, like I said, I worked at Models at one point in my life, and they had Smells Like Teen Spirit in one of their playlists.
Painful.
And we all know how much I love Nirvana. Well,
very much.
The thing is that they blocked out the second half of the chorus.
Yeah, there's no point in editing the song. Why would you do this?
Well, I got the point at first, but then I was like, all right, man, what really is the point? Because a mulatto and albino, all right, it may be they are offensive terms, I guess. A mosquito, well, it's a mosquito, bro. But I guess if you left it alone in that second half of the chorus, it doesn't make sense if you block out the rest. Because the second part of that is my libido, sex drive. Can't use that in store.
Baby, half these songs talk about fucking. What are we talking about here? Get the fuck out of here.
Like, it got to a point where the solo played one day, and I wanted to throw a like Air Monarch at some old white dude. Yeah.
Whoop. Let me mute you real quick. Hi, folks.
We're good.
All right, cool. There you go.
But yeah, absolute hell. Oh, actually, meet me again real quick.
Yeah, no problem. Hold up, I got you. Boop. I was going to tell a story about this one particular record by one half of Silk Sonic, which is ironic given today's subject. So I will come back to that in just a moment of your time, good people. This is my quiet storm voice. Oh, boop, there we go.
Right.
Hey, do you remember Locked Out of Heaven by Bruno Mars?
Yeah.
There, like I've been working for the same company for like the last 8 years, and when I worked in like the the Kentlands branch of that store, they would play that song, but they wouldn't allow you to hear Your Sex Takes Me to Paradise. They just would put the "oh yeah" part twice, and I'm like, this is actually my nightmare. Don't play some songs cannot be edited, therefore do not play them. Don't play them.
They don't care. They love it so much, but they gotta like avoid that problematic moment that makes them feel
You can't tell
uncomfortable.
children about sex.
Like that's why I don't really like. I don't really like the FCC much. Like, not even like that. I just like have a couple of like gripes about it. For the simple fact that
Agreed.
everyone swears. I've been cursing since fucking third grade. Like, I know people who's been cussing for longer. Like, everyone swears, dude. Like, it is what it is.
Listen, before we spin our wheels for a little bit longer. I finally found the playlist. Today's songs include, but are not limited to, "Space in My Heart" by Bernhoft, "Loyalty" by Yoshioka, "Too Good" by Moonchild, and "Baby I Don't Know" by Wolfbeck and Charles Jones. Now, right off the top, maybe you'll notice right away, if you're looking at it, there's only one person who was black in this little ensemble that I've created. I will explain everything right now. Now, Black culture is the most important resource on planet Earth, point blank, period. Now, in regards to this music, alienation can often occur throughout the diaspora. That is where my story begins. Good old Los talked about 90s R&B. Arguably the last time R&B was great, quote unquote. And so in comes me, a person who regularly struggles with their blackness. So, how do you reconcile your enjoyment of this music if sometimes the flavor of the month feels a little stale to you? Often you'll find contributors to the culture who don't necessarily come from the culture. That is saying, white people from Europe, white people in general, um, nerds who go to music college, and like non-white, non-black people who sing R&B. Like we could unpack an entire episode about folks from like Eastern backgrounds singing R&B, but like that is not the conversation we are equipped to have at this time. I just wanted a little sampler of all of those like tropey issues. Well, not issues, but just like reoccurrences that occur from time to time. I would say that in the 90s, you didn't have too many examples of white folks just like cosplaying blackness or outright being accepted by black people, with the exception of Bobby Caldwell and Auntie MM, who's the lady Tina Marie, basically. And like the auntie who sang "Been Around the World and Night, yeah, I can't find my baby."
I
Like,
actually was glad
she
you
counts too.
brought up Tina Marie because I was just about to say that we've had a lot of contributors of R&B in the past that aren't
We loved.
aren't black or of color, and Tina Marie is like the biggest example because for the simple fact that that was a white woman from California, like
She was
Southern
black.
California, and she had the demeanor of a black woman from Maryland.
I really thought she was black. Like I learned last year that she wasn't, and I'm like, I say, what now? Because I happen to follow a bunch of like older gay elders who like really just like study this pop shit and like this gospel music shit, and they're like, listen, y'all, like we were there. We will tell y'all everything you ever needed to know, and I'm like, everything I know is a lie. There's so much I still have yet to learn,
But that's the
and
thing, though.
like
They're just some like white people that are just like that.
that
That's
we
just
can
who they
count on,
are. That's just their soul. That's just their being. They're not faking that
that we
shit. That's
raised.
just like that. That's their essence. So it's like Tina Marie, like she did not. That was not like uh front or anything like that. That was her actual like. That's how she was. Dusty Rhodes is another one. Like Dusty Rhodes, he essentially had the soul of an old black dude because that was like he was southern as hell, just southern as hell, and everything that he said was southern as hell, but that shit didn't sound like a white southern dude.
May he rest in peace.
It just didn't sound like a white southern dude. Like you listen to Dusty Rhodes, yeah, the sound, like his inflection is a white dude. But when he talks, that's a
We
Georgia
know who
pimp.
he's hanging out with after the match.
That's an old Georgia pimp talking, bro. Let me tell you something, baby. I don't. We're not gonna
Yo,
get
shout out
to it,
Texas, man.
but
Shout
you
out
get the
Texas. Shout out
point.
Florida,
Like
man.
Dusty just had, that was just who he was, you know. So like, I you can point out, like, you know, as a black person who's faking it, and you can point out like that's just like whether it was who he grew up around or how he was raised or what have you, but that's him being himself. That's her being herself. That's just them being normal when you tell them to act normal. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
Yeah.
those are the few that I actually do appreciate, because not only do they have that demeanor, but they also have that soul too. Because Tina Marie, she didn't want to make that like cookie cutter pop shit. She wanted to make that soulful shit. Like that's what she gravitated more towards, the soulful stuff. So by the time she was, you know, dating Rick James, that was all in full swing.
Actually explains a lot now that I think about it. Huh.
Exactly.
The company one keeps. Imagine.
Notably. But yeah. So like, you know, Fire and Desire, and that's my point. Like that you
Speaks for
thought that
itself,
Tina Marie
no?
was black. You thought that was a black woman singing Fire and Desire with Rick James.
I mean, yeah, I did.
You thought that was the black woman singing Square Biz. And she,
Yeah.
that's what makes it even funnier. She's explaining to you that she is in fact white in that song.
Hey, man. Oh, no one listens to the lyrics like that these days, cuz. Don't do that.
Hey, hold on, man. Give me a second. I actually do gotta change my load real quick. Pause.
Phrasing.
Yeah, because my mom got another thing to wash or whatever. So give
I
me a
know the
second.
vibes. You go ahead and rock. I'll be right back. I'll keep the crowd entertained, as you will.
Please and thank you.
Yeah. Now, listen here, folks. I could have just like been, because R&B is so important to Los and myself. I didn't want to put folks on this list that I do not already listen to, you know? And even though as we're talking, there are artists where I was like, oh wow, I could have took the playlist in this direction. I could have taken the playlist in that direction, but it's only 4 songs in an as I guess as a way to just like make sure I'm hitting most of the quadrants in one whole swoop. I gotta just like I had to choose my battles, and I'm hoping that with the songs that I've selected here, Los isn't isn't discouraged um by the pathways R&B is taking across the world. I recently I was listening to Here's the Thing with That Chick Angel and Kev on Stage, who I mentioned previously, and they were talking about the R&B the BB what's that freaking network called, the BET Awards and the Music Awards, and how the only like it seems the only representation we have towards R&B that all generations seem to enjoy is Coco Jones, and her big song, and I'll tell this to us when he comes back, it's not really for me. I understand it evokes a huge emotional response in the listener, Not so much myself. I feel like it's kind of boring for me. And maybe as I get older, I listen to the song more, I'll understand. But usually, I'm grabbed from the first. I'm grabbed from the jump. And I think if you've adjacently heard R&B music, authentic R&B music, you know what we all know, like the specific ingredients that will not let you down. You know, that great backing band, those on point background vocals, artists who can just like ad lib the really emotional parts after the second chorus or after the bridge. To say nothing of the bridge, I say that the bridge needs to come back. And a lot of motherfuckers say this shit, but it's the truth. The bridge needs to come back. The third verse needs to return because popular music is hurting as a result of a lack of it and things of that nature. And I also want to like send my kudos to Los for still finding a way to bring up wrestling, even if we didn't have the big wrestling intro as we had in the past. Man, shout out to Dusty, Dustin, and Cody, because I have to like watch. I just definitely saw a half an hour mini doc about both of Dusty's boys while they're working for the same company that I'm looking forward to watching over a nice hot meal. And what's that? Who do I hear from down the hall? Could it be the O to the L to the E? The west of Haystack? It is he.
All right.
Okay. Shall we start with the first song then?
Indeed. That being Bernhoff.
Space in My Heart.
All right. Now I know what you said about you know, the blackness being a spectrum as far as R&B goes as well.
Yeah.
Now, I said this is my kind of tempo. We're off to a good start.
Okay.
Second thing I said, this plays like a blurty love song. It's beautiful, but the metaphor is so Poindexter.
Very, very.
It reminds me of have you ever seen Sherman Showcase?
Oh, what is that?
Oh my God. Brother. Let me tell you a thing or two about Sherman Showcase.
Do that.
So Sherman Showcase is a like it's like Soul Train, right? In theory, it's like Soul Train. And the premise of the show is they are doing it's like an infomercial for the box set of the show. And that's how they present it to you, right? But when they present it as such, it just goes into the show. And so you get these episodes pretty much for free, essentially. So basically, this dude Sherman, he has his own like, variety show where it's, it's like, music, dancing,
Yeah.
all within the black diaspora, essentially. And
Yeah.
so the show has essentially been going on for decades, roughly 40 to 50 years. That's the
Right.
bit, right? And no point has this motherfucking Sherman aged, first and foremost. Second of all,
Of course.
throughout the
Like most black
years,
men.
throughout the decades, they'll give you, performances, and like these songs are actually originally written songs. John Legend is on that show as well.
Of
Like he has a
course.
big role. Like John Legend is evil in that show, and it's hilarious.
That's funny.
Exactly. He's a villain in the show. He's like essentially a villain in the show, but he's not a real villain. Like there was one episode where he tries to get Common a Tony. And Common was pretty much like, I mean, I don't really need a Tony. My parents love me. I don't need a validation.
That is funny as shit. That is actually fucking hilarious.
So like,
Wow.
John's like initial plan was to get him not like actually get him a Tony, but like sabotage him pretty much. He was going to embarrass him. So in the process of getting a Tony, he was going to create a production so good that he acts in it and he gets his Tony. But he makes the production, he makes the like show as a spoof, but it turns out to do numbers, and Common actually fucks around and wins the Tony.
Man, I hate to get really nerdy on you, but like that's like almost literally the plot for the producers with Matthew Broderick.
Nice. So then they also have like, you know, performances within the, you know, time period of the episode, which brings me to Neo.
Oh God, that menace.
All right. That well, I guess you could say pre-menace Neo, because this show's like around 2018 and 2020.
I think that's probably like the time of Menace Neo.
Damn.
I don't know the timeline.
Allegedly,
of course, allegedly.
Sorry.
Allegedly.
So Neo, he has a performance, and like they do like pretty much fake versions of like actual famous musicians. Like there was like one chick that was essentially Anita Baker, but she was doing witchcraft because her music was like so sultry and such that it'll cause you to like do magic and shit like that. It was crazy.
Whoa.
But Neo's character, he does a song called Time Loop, right? And that junk cranks. It's like a little like 80s you know, one of them 80s dance songs. Pretty much about love or whatever, right? But your man's get literal in the song. Like as he's singing the song, he gets literal about like time travel. And so everybody get confused. And then he like ropes it back in. He goes, I'm talking about love. He's like, yeah, that's what I meant. That's what I meant. And it's like, everybody's like, oh.
I like that one episode from season 1 of Empire when homie's like, this the type of John I make a land love a man. And Terrence Howard's like, wait a minute. You know, the homie that got arrested.
Juicy Smollett.
Yeah. I only brought it up today because like Twitter reminded me of it. And I'm like, man, that happened. I can't believe I missed that.
Yeah.
I was not watching that show. I was not.
I honestly like just fell off on Empire after like the second season or so. It's like, all right.
According to the replies, most people just like missed one episode and never went back.
Empire was essentially why I couldn't get into power.
Couldn't get into power for different reasons.
Like everybody would tell me like, oh, it's about the music game and such. I'm like, Empire was about the music game, and we saw that panned out. Empire was good. Yeah, y'all don't like. Yeah, y'all are easily amused. I'm not. So like,
this is why you have to pay the writers a living
really hard
wage
for me to find shows to like. Like I don't know. I'm mostly a comedy guy, but when I do drama, it be good. I mean, good.
I'm not out of your seat.
Is, if you don't like reel me in within the first 2 to 3 episodes, I can't get down with it.
So, do you get down with Space in My Hearts?
Yeah. Let's continue that, right? I said, which is why I now get ghostwriting. Certain performers are better at performing what you've written than you are. And this feels like one of those cases. Like, I don't know. Like, something about dude's voice that wasn't very convincing. But for some odd reason, all I can imagine is Usher singing this song. I don't know why.
I could see it. I could
You know what
see
I'm
it.
saying? Like, I feel like if Usher sung this song, same lyrics and all, like same like fucking rendition, he just does his Usher voice and shit.
Yeah.
I feel like it'd be a very sexy song. You know what I'm saying?
I don't remember the time. I don't remember the specific year that Usher did OMG with Will I Am, but I know he was down bad at the time. And so like I think this song came out in like 2011. And so I imagine the kind of numbers it could have done if he was like if like Usher was singing covers and shit. Because I've heard like Usher sing like Stevie Wonder, and that sounded good. So I'm like, if like he was actually like serious about like doing like new shit and not like the current shit he is doing, it's like like one does wonder. So like, cool. What now? What's the grade on the Haystack scale though?
I had a couple more. Well, I did say the ride out is dope.
Oh
The
yeah, I
end
have
of the
some notes
song,
about the
I
ride
like
out
that.
actually.
Overall, 7 out of 10. Nothing too wowing for me, but something right up my alley. Like I love a good ballad, and this is an okay ballad.
Sweet. Listen. 7 is what I reach for every time I like recommend you a record. But one thing I'll say about like the way that the song like kind of ends is that what there's this white dude who I love. His name is Mark Rebier, or as he's commonly known on YouTube, Loop Daddy. Just like this Ned Flanders looking guy with like big glasses who's like really good at just looping various sounds and like come up with funny silly ideas, but he's an unusually great singer for a white dude and has caught the attention of like such famous people as Erica Badu, what's it called, Wyclef Jean, Wayne Brady, and Emily King. And I found that like if you watch like Bernhoff play a song, he is very fond of the loop pedal. Like my sister put me onto this dude, and like the way he builds a song with just his acoustic guitar and like him just like doing stuff with his mouth before like to like lay the foundation of a song is very impressive. And so when he plays this song live, he'll play the I can't get out and do all like the harmonies together and then like just do like a wicked solo over it. And just the way that he knows how he can sing and what he can and cannot do, it's awesome to see it come to life in real time and not necessarily in the studio where it's like, well, we can't really like this do that shit in a song we have to sell. So I'm very thankful and relieved that like we're off to a good start. Let's see if we can keep that foundation going as we move from Norway to Japan.
Brother, it gets better from here.
Let's freaking go, Los. I'm so excited. All right, let's return back to the East with Miss now Yoshioka with Loyalty.
All right. So my first note was there's already a pretty popular song with this name.
Yeah. Yeah. It comes up every time I try to look for it. Oh boy.
He said who boy. My next
Hello,
note
boy.
was this is like a K-pop song, but in English. It's real simple and easy to follow.
Yeah.
The charm is that the lyrics are haiku-like, not structured, but by poetry.
I'm just saying that because of where she's from.
Like everything she's saying, it all like makes perfect sense. It's completely simple, but it like conveys a deeper feeling than the simple feelings that you would convey in love songs.
Okay.
I like that. I like that a lot. Which brings me to uses words I know the kids would never use.
I knew you were going to say this.
Like reciprocity.
Reciprocity, yeah.
Reciprocity. I can't even say it.
Equality.
I said, yeah, 9 out of 10, man. Is it relatively simple?
Oh my God.
Is it relatively simple? Sure. But it's refreshing to hear a love song when a landscape subject these days is heartbreak. Sounds like a movie montage song. I like it.
Hey, dog. That's stupendous, first of all. I was hoping that you may have noticed that in the song, there are like two references that I was hoping that like wouldn't like make your eyes roll, and that's when she was like, look into my eyes, I can tell you want to cry, you'll never be the same because nothing else even matters. And I'm like, ooh, D'Angelo, Lauren, okay, great, we love that.
I
But
missed that. Damn, that was good.
Yeah, right. And like when she was like, oh, I just want to give you my devotion, you fill me up with sweet emotion. And I'm like, oh, is that a Mariah reference? Okay, I see you there. I see you. I see you. I see you.
For some odd reason, I thought Aerosmith. I don't know. But
you know what? I try to pretend that band doesn't exist, and I won't tell you why. Because I'm trying
he's
to
not
keep the
trying to
good
pretend
vibes
that
going.
band doesn't exist. No, they have a whole Guitar Hero. They exist, buddy.
No.
I'm sorry. You said what?
I know.
Oh, you hate them as much as I hate Nickelback, huh?
Man, listen, when we have our grunge conversation, we can talk about Chad Kroeger because I have to say it now. My favorite Canadian rock star said that Chad Kroeger saved his career. And like, I shout out to Devin Townsend, and not necessarily like saved his career, but like just gave him some perspective from one titan of industry to another. You know what I'm saying? And like, it's shit you wouldn't expect, and I fucking love that. Where it was like, dude was just like, oh, like Nickelback's not that bad, like they're a good band, and everyone was like, go fuck yourself. You have no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
Nah,
And Chad's like,
trash,
hey, my boy, thank you for you shut the fuck up.
Nah, man, nah. Cause all right, so my one of my homegirls, she's a Nickelback fan,
Sure.
and like she's trying to like sneak a fastball or two here and there, whatever I'd hand her the aux cord, and I'd go, "What the fuck is this, man?"
When they stink, they stink. I'm not going to pretend like that's not the case. And some of those lyrics are questionable for sure.
Maybe like everybody just like their trash shit. They got some dope deep cuts. I don't know, but nah, they stink. Hey, Nickelback stinks to me. They might be like a genuinely like dope group outside of the music, like just good people probably. And it's like Flow Rider for me. I like Flow Rider as a person. He seems nice.
Flow Rider's a bad dude.
Oh, he's a bad dude.
He kept, Six Lack or Black.
Yeah.
I only know this because of now back in the day, like when I was less woke, I listened to like Budden every day, and Budden's conversation with Black revealed something about Flow Rider I was never aware of until he said so.
Go on.
Well, in the sense of just like Black worked for Flow Rider, but essentially he was like his hostage.
Please, Ducky, justify my reasons for me hating Flow Rider's music.
Listen, I won't say another word. Allegedly. Just go back and listen to like Budden's interview with Six Lack, or I think either it was like his conversation with Black or Payne about Flow Rider, but you didn't hear it from me. I have no sources to validate my claim, but I believe people when they say things the first time about other artists.
Hearsay.
I don't know what you're talking about. Go talk to my lawyer.
All right, duly noted. So
9 out of 10. Let's fucking go. Hey, shout out to Nayo or Now. Shout out to Osaka. Shout out to New York because I think it's where she trained. We love to fucking see it. We're two for 4. Shall we continue?
Oh, buddy. We're just gonna call it 4 for 4 today.
Are you? Don't get me fucking excited. Don't get me fucking excited because this next fucking record is like one of my favorite fucking songs, like in fucking general. Hey, and like since we're here talking about R&B, how great it is. It's so fucking cool in general to see like how big the NPR Tiny Desk is becoming to mainstream culture, especially for Black folks, because before it was for nerds, hipsters and nerds. You know what I'm saying? And a bunch of, and like prior to like more of our heroes in Black music having tiny desks, a lot of really great people were doing them, including Moonchild. And like my sister pointed out, when Moonchild did their tiny desk, you know, like they're like all classically trained and whatever, but like again, it's 3 white people playing R&B. And they're like, listen, We know what y'all see. We know what y'all hear. If you're gonna pay for our shit, best believe that the money you pay is supporting Black people. Oh shit, where did I lose you?
Fuck, I forget.
It's okay. I'll backtrack 5 minutes. When I started talking about NPR, does that ring a bell?
Yeah, there it is. All right, go.
Did I mention that? Did I mention that Moonchild had a tiny desk?
You did. That's what I didn't hear.
Okay, yeah, they had one, and like I think they only had one album out, and they're like basically like, "Hey, bro, like when you like support our shit, we're supporting Black people because we know where this music comes from. Don't ever get it fucking twisted." And I'm like, "Bet, I appreciate you pointing that out." And the first track on their second album is with Layla Hathaway, one of the best fucking singers alive today. So like, I just wanted to point that out.
Donnie's daughter.
Yeah, bruh. There's the clip I have to send you of her singing 2 chords at once during like a live performance, and the band losing their collective shit because they're like, "How the fuck did she do that? She's a wizard."
Speaking of daughters of singers, Alex Isley,
The GOAT.
love her music, and she I don't
Underrated
know
as
if you've
shit.
heard Rory's album that he put out.
The more recent shit or the first one?
No, not that Rory. I mean Rory from Rory and Mal.
Oh, that big ass like collection he just EP'd.
Yeah,
Not yet.
Yeah, it is. That album is amazing. First and foremost. Second of all, he has a song with Drum and Alex Isley.
My boy Shelly.
I Want You, But You'll Never Know. Oh my god, I love that song.
What I think on a regular basis.
Yeah,
I'm listening to that shit.
Yeah, that, and then he has a song. There's another song that I like on there called Enough, and that's with this artist Reggie and Jay Electronica, and that song's a dope song. And then he just has like he's not actually doing any type of performing or anything. He did most of the production, the beat selecting, things like that, the curation for this album. You know what I'm saying? So it's he did much more than what DJ Khaled does, but he's not an actual producer. As he said, he's pretty much Rick Rubin.
Listen, do not get me fucking started on that motherfucker. One of the guys I just like, one of my homies, one of my brothers from like my broadcasting days, Mikey, just dropped the release, and he's in my DMs like, "Hey bro, on my Rick Rubin type shit," and I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And like he bought the shades that dude was wearing on like the Rogan interview, and I'm like, "Get this guy the fuck off my phone." Whatever. And I know he's just having a laugh, but I'm like, Rick Rubin. The guy gets in my craw like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah. Once I found out he doesn't even play any instruments, I was like, "So what do you do?" And then once he said what he did, I was like,
nothing.
So you just been kind of riding
coasting on vibes
all these years, eh?
And I can fuck with the white dude who's been politicking in our culture since its infancy. I can fuck with that. It's just like the space and company that which you keep, which gives me cause for concern.
Here's the thing, right?
Hit me.
What Rick Rubin has done for this culture, essentially, like if not directly, indirectly, you can't get mad at. Like he hasn't done anything negative.
I have no issue with these things.
Now, how he got put on to the culture, like how he like managed to get an in with the culture, I'm not sure I can really be too happy about it anymore.
Frankly, again, I'm not bothered by that. It's the fact of the matter is there are several individuals that I'm sure he was very like keen, like he was very like just like intimately close to, where he was like, there are 2 people in particular he could have been like, get this motherfucker out of here, and he did nothing. And for that kind of shit, I will hold a blood feud over. And we can speak off mic about that at a later date, if you know what I'm saying.
Because I would like to learn.
Son, this is why I'm here. I do what I do to like keep folks like abreast of shit. Because I did it on TikTok recently, thinking, oh, someone's gonna like start an argument with me. But like the person who made the video was like, oh, like I'm gonna go look into that because I was not previously aware. And I'm like, okay, good. Like we can have these conversations, and like no one's gonna throw a fucking tomato at me. It's like I just want folks, I want people who take in the music to be safe. Like if you go to a show, go to a venue, like put that shit in your fucking brain. It's like, hey, like PSA, here's what you're about to get yourself into. You know what I mean?
Quick side note, what the fuck's with all these people throwing shit at performers at concerts these days?
I've heard a little bit about that via Rolling Stone, but I'm not gonna say anything to incriminate myself about it.
Duly noted. All right, moving on. So let's go to Moonchild.
Moonchild, yeah.
Now, hold on.
Uh-huh. Just give me the lyrics ready, y'all. Pardon me.
There we go.
Hey.
Good thing I caught myself before I started.
I
Now,
feel you.
what first note I had was I like a good Moonchild song. Dope lo-fi influenced soul.
Yeah.
They also have a song with Freddie Gibbs.
Oh shit, I haven't heard that.
Yeah, fuck, I forgot the name of it that fast, but it's pretty dope. Freddie spits.
I'll look it up. Yeah.
The lyrics are so entrancing. It's simple wording, complex thought. The subject matter is one that isn't used much. The near end of the honeymoon phase, pretty much. Will things hold up the way it's been so far, which has been amazing, or is it too good to be true?
Yeah. I think about that shit all the time. And I will say, like, on this most recent like release that came out last year, Starfruit, track number 4 is You Got One with guess who? Alex Isley.
That's right. The very same. Overall, 10 out of 10, man.
Hallelujah!
Yeah, nah, I'm adding this to the playlist. I absolutely love it. Sounds like something I was listening to on Soul Election Radio in like 2015, 16. And that's a nostalgic time for me.
Don DeMarco.
That was a nostalgic time for me. So, yeah, definitely.
I'm gonna try and do that one more time with this indie shit going forward because I don't know if I'm gonna have the sauce when I do like women in hip hop. I don't know, but with this indie shit, I feel I can do it again. Let's fucking go, dude. Like,
yeah.
This is why we do this shit. It's like, motherfucker, like, did I just hear what I thought I just heard? And it's just those little accent with like the horns and the woodwinds. I'm like, like this is why you go to music college, to do this kind of shit.
Yep.
Some motherfuckers don't need to go to music
exactly
college.
Why.
But like some cats need to put in like those 10,000 hours reading the books, studying the notes, you know, like finding those pitches and shit, playing those weird ass instruments you see in philharmonic orchestras to do shit like this.
Yeah, this is exactly why. This is why we do it. And this is why I went to college and was actually interested in learning more about, music theory and things like that. And it made me,
remember that word.
And this is why
for us. Yep. Go ahead.
This is why, like, we went to college, and this is why I signed up for music theory class and music classes like that, because it's very important that you just know like how to make music. It's not just as simple as taking a beat and saying words and shit. Like there's so much to it that makes music dope and makes music trash. And it's like not a lot of people are understanding that the sweet science anymore. I don't think there's a lot of music theory going on in the mainstream anymore. There was a little bit of music theory going on back in the early 2000s still. Like because it was just a progression of how hip hop was built, how R&B was built, because you had genius producers like L.A. Reid and Babyface, making timeless instrumentals for timeless artists, and doing things with those instrumentals, like challenging them. Like, I don't know if I've told this story on air, but my favorite Whitney Houston story is that I'll Be Your Baby Tonight. LA and Babyface tried to challenge her vocally with that song. So if you go back and like you actually listen to it, like there's it's a range. It's like, scaling a very wide scaling range within her octave. And they like, take her through an obstacle course of sorts with it. And Nippy got that shit done in one take because she wanted to hit the mall before it closed.
A god. A god.
Like who's fucking with Nippy? Nobody. You understand? Only her mother.
All I'll say about Whitney's music is that, like, just like listening to like I Have Nothing on like a really good pair of headphones will fuck up your shit to this day. And that's typical like big box core in regards to just like mall music, going to the grocery store type shit. But just like in your own home at your own like pace and volume, that song just like fucks with me.
But that's the thing about Whitney's voice. That's a church voice, a church trained voice. Like it. I don't think a lot of people understand for real. Vocal lesson in like class or tutoring or anything like that, it ain't shit compared to choir rehearsal. You understand?
Oh, I know.
Like growing up, I would go to church on like it was like Fridays or so.
Oh, you went to
And
church. You went on Friday.
like my parents, we like go to choir rehearsal because my dad was in the choir because it was a family choir. And so well, he was the bassist for the choir. And so we would like, sit around in choir rehearsal. If not sit around, we, leave out of the main area and go goof off with our cousins outside or some shit.
Yeah.
But we would sit around and actually watch the practices going. My Aunt Jan is a hard ass when it comes to, perfection. She demands perfection. All right. And there was one night where she got into it with I forget which aunt it was. It was one of my aunts, one of her sisters.
Okay.
And so they were pretty much going back and forth about how a certain note in one of the songs should be hit. And I forget actually the wording of it, but the way my Aunt Jen explained the shit, it made me go, that makes sense if you listen back. You know what I'm saying? It just
Have to
made,
hit your ear the right way.
because it made me think of another time, like a previous time, like maybe a year or two prior to that. Caleb was in the chorus in middle school.
Oh, cool.
And they did Les Miserables.
Oh,
And
Les
he did the
Miserables. Oh my
solo.
god.
He did the solo for 525,600 minutes.
Oh God, Rent. Oh my God.
And in retrospect, he hit the carrying note that led to the back to the chorus. He hit the note wrong.
Oh, that's so. Oh man.
No. Hear me out. He
Oh.
hit the note wrong by lesson. But the note Caleb hit sent everyone in that crowd a standing ovation.
It still sounded okay. So it still sounded great.
No. He didn't crack the note or anything. He didn't fuck up the note. Like I said, as trained, he hit the note wrong. But the nigga hit the note by the way his soul felt that shit.
Okay.
It felt like. And when he hit that note,
he was being led by the spirit.
Everybody had an outer body experience, dog. I'll never forget that moment for as long as I live. So, going back to the choir rehearsal, the way my Aunt Jan explained the note, I thought of that, and I'm like, ooh, that would fucking cause a ruckus in this motherfucker on a Sunday. That would put everybody on their feet. So I'm pretty much thinking to myself, yeah, nah, Aunt Jan may be right here, but I'm also in a child's place, so I ain't saying shit. So eventually it got to a ridiculous point where they prayed on it momentarily. and bottom line, Aunt Jan big lead my aunt. but the damnest thing, how I imagined it, that's exactly how it went down on Sunday.
It's fun when that happens,
and that's why it was just when it came to singing, it's like Ma Jan had the pipes for it, and she had she could teach you how to have the pipes for it. And it wasn't like a classically trained or anything like that. You're not doing any sheet music or anything like that.
Gotta get out the mud.
It's just all basic do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, and how to flare it. Yeah, no.
You gotta put you in the notes.
There's a huge difference between being church trained and classically trained, because church trained is going to give you that little bit of oomph, that little bit of drive, that little bit of soul in that voice, because that's the only way that they bring it, that with gospel.
All right, fine. Fuck it. We'll talk about it. My favorite band used to be a post-hardcore band from Sacramento called Dance Gavin Dance. When the band first came to prominence, their frontman was this Canadian ginger dude named Johnny Craig, who allegedly got his vocal training in a Black Baptist church. So you got this white Canadian dude singing these R&B notes over some eclectic progressive rock songs. And so of course his
So Ed Sheeran,
imagine Ed Sheeran if he didn't suck. And that's kind of fucked up of me to say, because that motherfucker can write a song like no one's business. But
that's the thing though. He just stinks the songwriting because he has a strong pen. I'll give him that. But
pen's hard. I'm a hater though. That's all it is.
That motherfucker can't really sing like that, and he looked like
that's not how a baby boy look. No, let's not do that.
One of the kids I grew up with or whatever.
Let's not do that. But
they probably on the farm these days. Yeah.
And one of my faves is gonna roast me for saying some shit about Ed because they like him a lot. But I am who I am. But
I just ripped my best friend texted me last night about Aloe Black, and I just ripped on Aloe Black for 15 minutes.
Man, shout out to Aloe Black, man. Shout out to Aloe Black.
She was like, have I been sleeping on Aloe Black, or is just has people been sleeping on Aloe Black, or is it just me? In which I responded with,
"Oh, honey."
No, I gotta bring it back. I responded with, oh, I clown his music every time I hear it personally. She goes, really? And I sent her the meme where it's like, where it's a blood talking. It's like, anything negative, I'm for it. I throw off of negativity.
Why you bringing that shit up every fucking time?
So she's like, the guy has John Mayer level soul. I go, John Mayer level
John
soul.
Mayer?
And she goes, and John Legend.
Wait, the
I said, all right, now we're just reaching. Giving a guy a strong voice and now give a guy a strong voice and now they're good for an EGOT. What's going on here? I said,
John
I don't know. Legend got soul. I said, Legend got soul in the voice and the pen. There's range. Hello Black makes music for those dorks that record videos in their car complaining about politics getting into their.
That's fucked. Wait,
I said,
so
Black makes music for folks that think Lizzo has more soul than Ari Lennox. Don't get me started on that again.
That's fucked up. Well, I'm gonna pretend you didn't say that.
I said, Aloe Black is for Eminem fans who have traded meth for Red Bull. Sister, you know how long I can do this for.
Wait. I just want to make sure I got this right. Did she say John Legend or John Mayer?
Yes.
You didn't answer my question.
The answer is yes, both.
God fucking damn it. All right, I'm gonna wrap up speaking to this last song because I'm irritated.
Sister, no. I gotta learn you though.
I'm not gonna start on John Mayer because I'll get fucking pissed.
Oh,
but
no. I that's why I just got jokes on because I don't get snobbish when it comes to my sister. So like I just like make fun of everything just about.
All right, I bring it up though because like of course you have like this because again the issue of you hear Dance Gavin Dance when Johnny Craig is in the band, you think, yo, is this guy black? And no, it's a white Canadian dude with orange hair. They fire him from the band on a myriad of occasions. He gets fired from the band twice on two separate occasions for shit I will not bring up because it's graphic and triggering. But like people still listen and like people are like, well, and like Dance Gavin Dance went on to have two different singers. And the third guy who like the second guy, still great, still makes music outside of that band. Third guy also got canceled. And so I'm like, well, fuck this band completely. I can't do this anymore. And so some people are like, oh, like I know it's like you know like edgy, but like I still listen to like Dance Gavin Dance because like nobody sings like him. And I'm like, so like you never heard anyone black before sing. You never heard gospel music, like you've never heard quality R&B because like
right.
And this is usually for like kids or people my age who don't listen to black music, who have no context for that. Like we're like rock or alternative music is as far as it goes in regards to what they enjoyed listening to. And that's why I plead and I beg and I scream into the void for brothers who know how to sing to pivot to rock, because you can still make the shit that you want to make, but like take the band with you so that people will actually see you. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's because it's like I'm so fucking pissed. People are like, oh, like, but no one sings like Johnny Craig though. And I'm like, bro, it doesn't matter what the motherfucker is singing if he is a bad dude. And I'm like, for you to say that like it starts and ends with like one motherfucker who most people don't even know about is an insult to the craft itself. He is he's just the result of the prominence and power of like black music reaching the masses. Like you never heard motherfucking Alan Stone? Like he sings just as good as a Johnny Craig, I suppose. Yeah. But like, and not for nothing, that motherfucker was raised in the church. He was a pastor. That's why he could sing. The fuck? Yeah. Shit makes me so goddamn angry. It's like, dog, like literally yesterday, I'm listening to like a podcast. It's like an anime podcast, like and like folks from like Australia, England, and like they're talking about like a lot of like the popular like terms we use, like bussin', riz, or your favorite. The conversation started because of they just heard he got that dog in him. They're like, yo, where did that come from? And I'm like, clearly y'all don't know no niggas, because like if you knew one black person, they tell you, bro, it came from us.
You heard something funny?
Brothers like Haystack West are the reason why folks say he got that dog in him.
You want to hear something funny, dog? A lot of these phrases that have been popularized over the past like year or two.
Queer and black spaces. Done.
I have used at least 20 to 25 times throughout my lifetime. Like, got that dog in him. Me and my brother have been saying that shit since like I was in my teens.
Because
Generational.
that dog in him just means like he got that spirit.
And you can see it, and if you see the shit they're talking about, you don't have to even explain it when like you're in the room and you have the cultural context.
Like LeBron, when LeBron and them was doing the got him, and they made that popular. My older brother's friend's brother Vince was saying that like a good 10 to 15 years prior to that. Cause like he like tripped my like, "Ooh, got him," like that. Or like
Brother,
he
am I
called
right?
somebody up, like, "Oh, got him." Like we would do what's called the Sham God. And the Sham God is a crossover that was invented by a basketball player for used to play for the Wizards named
Some
God
and one
Sham
type
God.
shit.
Right? God Sham God had this unorthodox crossover where he would like, instead of going between the legs, or sometimes he would go between the legs for added flair, he would go pretty much across his body and like do essentially like an in and out. And that was just one of his simpler moves. But his most popular move was a trick that he would do where like he would essentially like trail the ball out towards the defender, like low towards the defender, to where it feels like as a defender you might be able to steal that.
Yeah.
But then he just comes to snatch it back to where like it's like if you reach, I teach. So when he snatches it back, it goes to a full crossover. He can just drive it to the lane. So like it'd be like, lead the ball out and you do like a little couple of stutter steps and then you'll snatch it back. So whenever we do the Sham God, that'd be the following phrase we say after that. Got him. So like dogging him, Bama. I learned that shit. Bama was a word.
I thought that was a slur for the longest time, cuz
Bama's a DMV slang, has been a DMV slang since the like late 70s, early 80s. And I learned that off of Slow Burn.
Elementary school.
Because Slow Burn recently did a profile on Clarence Thomas, which definitely tap into that if you haven't. Because Joel Anderson, he did excellent work on that. But like one of his interns called him a Bama, which I got a good laugh about, but he didn't like that at all. So at any rate, like a lot of this slang, Riz is one that I'm just like, okay, now I don't know what the fuck we're talking about here.
But still, black terminology, you know what I'm saying?
It's like Riz is funny, but that ironic.
I fucks with it a little bit.
Kind of like put it on, because for me it's like when Antonio Brown came out with that song and that dance, I said, "Oh my god, this nigga's lost his fucking mind." But then like I started to hear it being said ironically, and I started saying it ironically. Now I can't stop saying it. Like anytime somebody got anything just absolutely fashionable on, they got it on. I'm afraid.
You know I had to do it to him.
Like it's saying it as like a regular, phrase feels better than, forcing it. You know what I'm saying? Oh, he got that shit on. Like just saying it as if you're singing the song. But like, just acknowledging it. Yeah, he got it on. It's on, okay.
Shall we move on to our last song?
Yes.
Okay. I want so for context sake, in like this like the DIY music is the best music as far as I'm concerned. Like folks who aren't in the system, who are making just like music full of color and life. And in like the non-black R&B space, like I guess like the non-mainstream space, three big acts for me are leading the charge on fun, interesting, weird, R&B adjacent music. That is to say, Knower, which is the duo of Lewis Cole and Genevieve Artati, the big jazz band Snarky Puppy, and these mugs from Michigan, Wolfbeck. You know what I mean? What Wolfbeck are doing to like funk and R&B, in my opinion, has saved the culture, because it's like, y'all love shit that sounds adjacent to this. So why don't we make more of it together all the time?
Bingo.
This band,
of,
Wolfpack, they played MSG. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
And they recorded that shit. It sounds so good.
And here's my thing, right? It shows. Because I listened to this and I was like, yeah, nah, this feels hybrided. It's not one genre. It's not one, like, they didn't stick to one lane. They're kind of like veering into multiple lanes, but they're doing it very seamlessly. It felt very, excuse me.
Okay.
It felt very, immersed. It felt natural and organic. Like I really enjoyed this song as well. My first note for Don't Know OO was, this sounds blues and gospel-y, and I dig it. I dig it.
Yes, bro.
I don't like gospel. I don't.
I understand.
But that genre gets me every once in a while with a ballad.
Yeah.
See, Donnie McClurkin, Stand.
Hard.
If you just stand. I can't.
Shit's hard.
I can't ever like resist that song for some reason.
That's just my fucking heritage, dog.
Exactly. Yeah, that's just my heritage. But at any rate, my man is singing. These white boys is grooving. This joint goes crazy. That was the note. And then
yeah.
my last note was, that drop was sick towards the end, boy. Which, yeah, 9.5 out of 10. This may go on a playlist as well. I'm not sure which one. It's not sexy enough for my Groove Line playlist. Not cool enough, not like chill enough for my sleep list. But we'll figure it out, boys. Trust you me. This is a dope song. Dude sounds like Luther McClurkin.
Hey, shout out to Charles Jones, man. He has some pretty dope credits if you go on Genius and shit like that. I just like, this is the kind of shit where it's like, I remember I had a dream once. And like, what do our parents always say? Y'all ain't got no culture. Y'all ain't got no good music. And it's like, every so often, they'll turn their heads, but, oh, hold on. What the fuck is this? And like, I had a dream. My parents we're attending a show where like Maroon 5 plays Sunday Morning. Because like, that shit is very black. Like Sunday Morning by Maroon 5 is black as fuck. And so like, I had a dream. My parents like, yo, is this y'all music? I'm like, yeah, man, ain't it cool? So like, when I hear like stuff by Wolfpack, I'm like, oh, I can play this to my parents. And they'll either be like, oh, this is cheesy as fuck. It's a knockoff of our own shit. Because my parents were very strict, like Earth, Wind, and Fire type heads. But like, I feel like there isn't like a push from mainstream black culture to make more like Earth, Wind, and Fire shit, which is why that Silk Sonic EP went so gangbusters, because we all want that shit. We don't want to have an honest conversation about it.
Is the perfect example, because listen, my mother is essentially a white and Iroquois woman. Raised Southern, because she grew up in Bristol. And
of course.
Spent her formative years in DC. That's where she met my old man. But she's essentially like a, black raised woman, right?
Yeah.
She thinks like I played Mac Miller one day.
Wow.
And the duality of it is this. I played Blue World.
Okay.
Which was on Circles, his last offering, the posthumous album.
Yeah.
And like just how it begins with like a little doo-wop like start before the beat kicks in.
Yeah.
So I'll play that. My mom would be like, "We turn that weird shit off."
That's so funny, bro.
On the other side of that fence, though, I'll play Therapy, also by Mac Miller.
Yeah.
In which my mom will sing along to the chorus. How's it feel? Just like out of random.
Yeah.
Or like she'll also sing along to What's the Use? You know, things like that. Like,
yeah.
And by all means, loved that Silk Sonic EP. She loved that EP. And it's like growing up, I knew cleaning day was whenever I woke up in the morning and on the radio was either Mariah Carey, TLC, or there was one more. It was Mariah, TLC, or I want to say fucking Whitney. But yeah, 9 times out of 10. Oh, no. It was either TLC, Mariah Carey, or Aaliyah.
Hey.
If any of those were on, God damn it, we're cleaning today. So I grew up essentially like kind of disliking those artists.
Sure.
But the older I got and the more I listened to them, because my mom put me onto them over the years, like I just grew to love them. Like Left Eye had bars, but we never really 100% know that because her life was cut short. Then not only that, her album was shelved forever because I've never heard it. And then essentially all we got is any type of rap feature that she had in the TLC song. So Ain't Too Proud to Beg,
The
they
5-minute
have
version,
like
which
multiple
you put me
cuts
on
of that.
too.
They have multiple cuts of multiple versions of Ain't Too Proud to Beg, where you got your regular radio version, and then they have like a alternative version where Left Eye just goes the fuck in for 3 minutes straight.
Oh, 3 minutes. My bad.
Yeah. So and then the verse we all know and love, her verse in Waterfalls.
Yeah.
But we knew that, Left Eye had bars. And we knew that Chili and T-Boz had pipes. So I was like, all right, I can get into it. And then once you actually listen to their like late era, and by late era I mean everything after everything after their New Jack Swing origins. So like Crazy Sexy Cool On. Buddy. TLC got some hits, boy. Aaliyah got some hits, but that's kind of tainted.
Hey, hold on. I have one take about Aaliyah I've always wanted to make because I feel like straight up and down, she's not the artist for me. But I feel as though we can't have an honest conversation about her work besides the obvious, because Aaliyah is for Black folks what Selena is for Hispanic folks.
Yeah, essentially.
There is no conversation to be had because those figures are deified forever in our canon.
To put it in perspective, the morning Aaliyah died, we had church. My mom ran into the room, bawling her eyes out, shaking Caleb, screaming Aaliyah's dead like Aaliyah was our cousin.
That's fucked.
Like, my mom
that must have been
loves hard. Aaliyah, boys. Like, just loves Aaliyah. And when you say that she's the Black community, Selena, and that's immediately the first thought that I have. Like, yeah, that makes perfect sense. That's an excellent comparison, because the rest of that day wasn't a good one either. It was a pretty sad day once we like got out of church and actually watched the news and saw what happened. It's like, damn, that's sad, because she had just was just getting ready to put out her album. And that was about to be an album that like pretty much freed her from all of the ties that she had, around One in a Million and so on and so forth. Because there was a lot of baggage going on at that point in time.
Still to this day, even.
Like it was very sad.
but Aaliyah essentially laid the groundwork for the quiet singers these days. Your Janae
The whisper
Aiko,
vocalists,
your Kalanis, so on and so
your
forth.
scissors and such.
Exactly, because they gave you, she gives you the option of actually giving you a voice. It doesn't have to be strong, but it can still be beautiful.
Victoria Monet's and such.
Exactly. So that, and if we could give her predecessor, Janet,
The architect, the Seth
and
freaking Rollins of
Janet,
R&B.
honestly, Janet is a very like close predecessor because they were around the same time. Like Aaliyah debuted in the early 90s, where Janet debuted in the late 80s.
I'm about to say, because like her, Janet and like her producers invented New Jack, right?
Yeah, with Rhythm Nation.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Nasty.
So Rhythm Nation is what like essentially put Janet on the map. At first, self-titled didn't. No, self-titled didn't come until like the 2000s. But you get the point. So like and just about anybody before that, it's hard to give you like a good solid comparison to anybody before that, because there aren't a lot, because all of them came from gospel and the church.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So they use that. So it's very hard to pinpoint one. Like I said, Whitney's the closest we get. And so it just brings me to the point that like the music that is going on these days, I'm starting to realize that only mugs that are around my age group are making the music that I actually enjoy. Whereas you have the younger crowd, they just pretty much cater to whatever sounds good on TikTok. So it is what it is. I'll probably never be like my parents, where you get that one song that like somebody plays and it makes me go, "Oh, this song actually cranks." Well, I lied, because there is like a couple of songs like that for me, but
I would say
few
that
and far between.
I would say that the R&B problem existed long before Vine and TikTok. It just that like because of these things, like the problem only accelerated.
Yeah.
Because as far as I'm concerned, as a non-business mind, but as a person that just like sees where things are going, especially posting on that app every single day, it's almost as if people with the money for this shit are like, at some point, all this money what we're making or will hope to make will be gone. So we gotta like get what we can while there's still something to be got. And
Yep.
I stand in defiance of this. I brought this up on like my metal show, but like when people and bands that I love and respect tour with artists that like stand for everything that stand that when like you're okay, to be vague, when you're a good band opening for a bad band, like we lose something. We lose what we go to these spaces because like the big boys, they don't respect us. So when we hold hands with guys who will like stab us in the throat as soon as they're able to do so, what are we doing for like our audiences and such?
Set
And
an
so that
example.
if it's like, oh, like because we work with this person, we'll be financially viable. We can be financially viable all on our own when we have the product that people want. And like it's clear that it's clear that like people in R&B are reaching for something that's in all of us.
And
So
honestly,
like,
I feel like whatever is popular these days, it caters to a certain audience that isn't very, how do I say this, smart. And I'll say that like, you have to use big words and songs and shit like that, yada yada yada. It's literally like airhead music. Like like a lot of this stuff is, it's like
I want to hear this because I don't know if I agree necessarily. Let's wait if he comes back.
Taylor Swift because
You're saying?
that's just her shtick in general.
Hey, you were in mid rant. I didn't hear all of that.
You said what?
I didn't hear most of that. Who are you talking about?
No, I was trying to think of an example. I didn't want to use Taylor Swift because that's just her shtick in general.
It's like apples to oranges, especially we're talking about black music.
Exactly.
And like I said, and for the record, we can't even talk about Swift in regards to country because she crossed over, and we already know that country is black music anyway.
Yeah, but nevertheless, it's just certain examples that I can hop on. I can turn on the radio and listen to it, and it's like it just sounds like dancey, not a full on dancey, but like a slow bop dancey type of song where it's just talking about heartbreak and you did me wrong and now I'm gonna be cold and yada 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 yada.
Icebox by Omarion.
You said what?
Icebox by Omarion.
This is his fault. but so it's like it just gets it gets tough to like listen to, and that's why I appreciate the Tims out there. You know what I'm saying? Like they actually give you something different, and I enjoy it.
Here's what I'll say. I'm to be honest with myself, to be honest with the audience, I'm spending a lot of time on like Facebook dating, and I have worthiness issues. So if I see someone falling, most likely I'm gonna like swipe left anyway because I'm like, I don't know if I have what it takes. But what I've noticed, because like I'll see more like sisters on Facebook dating than I would on Tinder. Make of that what you will. And when I go on Facebook dating, it seems that most of the sisters out here love My Mind by Tims. And My Mind by Tims is a great record. But here's what's annoying for me. What else? It is the job of these program directors of like these entities that want to sell Thames to me. You don't, because I like her. I'm a fan. But like, cool. She has that song that Bieber hopped on later. She has the song she wrote for Rihanna, and she has My Mind. What else? Sell me on the rest of the album. Right. Give me all of the songs. If they're all good, and if I can't buy them, play them for me. Make sure I hear them on radio. These are the things that like program directors and the powers that be will not do. And like I believe that music should operate from a sense that like there's a chance you can't come to a show. There's a chance you can't buy the CD. There's a chance you can't pay for like Apple Music. Therefore, we're going to make sure you hear a shit ton of what this artist has to offer. So we know that it's like, oh, like if I pick the album up, oh, I've heard all these already. And I already know that I like them. Now I have to own them. Now this has to like be in my home or like in my record crate and things of that nature. And I feel as though that does not take place. I wanted to say that like earlier that there was a point in our conversation where I disagreed, but it clicked in my head because, like, you remember that white woman, Jessie J?
Yeah.
Like, vocals for days, like, basically Adele, but it's, like, tall, you know? And the Jessie J that wrote Nobody's Perfect is not the Jessie J that sings Bang Bang with Ariana Grande and Nicki Minaj. That shit gives me a headache. And like it pays her bills, but that's not why we're here. That is almost a mockery of R&B, like adjacent music, in my personal opinion.
She knew that shit would sell. And the thing is like they're just people out, they're just artists out there that make the music because they know it's going to sell well. And it makes you wonder, why in the hell is it selling well? Who are the people that like it? And the people we know
who those people are. We know who those people are. The folks who want the imitation, they want imitation black before they ever invest in black. And so be it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just like the order of the day. for those of us who are aware of like the if like if you know about the like the scam, if we're gonna call it that, what are you going to do to subvert that narrative? That's the question I pose to those who are in the rooms who can say, oh yeah, we're letting Lizzo win at the Soul Train Awards. Like,
But that's the thing.
and
It's not,
that is coming from a person who is in full support of what Lizzo can and does do. You know what I'm saying? The fact of the matter is, she is a crossover act, so her cross to bear is different from an Ari Lennox. We don't let Ari Lennox win because of the color of her skin, and we all know this. The record,
nah,
like we all know the
that's
records
the
are
irony
hot.
of it all. Like, you say you don't let Ari Lennox win because of the color of her skin, and they give the award to Lizzo instead,
That's what I'm saying.
who is also a very black woman, a very much black woman.
Yeah, but like the fact of the matter is, white people listen to Lizzo
But
before they listen to Ari
she's the
Lennox.
black woman that appeals to the white folks because she's
And
like,
that's not her fault, for the record. In case anyone wants to like
exactly,
go back,
because she's
it's
herself.
not her fault.
It just appeals.
Congratulations, she
to,
deserves that success. She's worked really hard for it.
Like,
We remember
it's
the
not
Lizzo
her
I was on
fault
Bodega
because
Boys.
she's
You know what I'm
just
saying?
being
Like,
herself.
she's one of ours.
Yeah, it just appeals more to white people because that's what they think, that's what they enjoy. Like you said,
She's a triple
they
threat.
want the
She's a
invitation
quadruple threat,
before
technically.
they can dig into the real. And Ari Lennox gives you that real.
She makes the kind of shit that my parents would like get into, but I think that she's a little too like secular for like my folks' generation. But like, she loves music, and like the people who know who've known her for a long time, she's been the same person all this time. Even with all the current accolades that she has, she deserves 10 times the amount. It's like, it's the clip of Tina Turner, may she rest in peace, where like she's like talking to like this man about where she was currently living and like her career, and the dude was like, is it enough? And she's like, not at all. And it's the fucking truth. Like our culture and our music deserves so much more, and like, since like the powers that be aren't going to give it to us, we have to take it from them.
Yeah,
we have to take it from them.
It's like, the
and,
thing is,
and I think we should stop there because like we've got it up for like an hour and 45.
Well, I'll say this real quick.
Please do close us out.
Lizzo music, the reason why it's so appealing to white folks is because Lizzo has that airy, popish soul. Like, it's dancing at the fucking diner,
Grocery store.
Sock hop at the diner type of sound, soul. And
the Chevy Checker type shit.
It reminds them of a previous time. You know what I'm saying? Where Ari gives you that neo soul, and it's like, this is the soul. You know what I'm saying? Because we got the soul, not y'all. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's two different. It's soul. Both of them are soul musicians, but it's two different types of soul. And one soul appeals more to a certain demographic because it feels like nostalgia for them for the most part. At any rate, let's go home.
Hey, if nostalgia is your bag, please tune in the next time we get together. It's so funny. On episode 6 of our show, I was like, ooh, we'll probably push for a late July recording. And thankfully, I have a lot of free time right now. But nice. I think the two of us will get together after my trip to Montgomery County. I'm hoping to slide and just like kick it with you. If it's at all possible, we'll like do what we did last time. It's like old man talk and walk around the block. But when I get back, we'll because you'll have the playlist like if not by tonight, by tomorrow. Because indie as it is so vague, but like we're talking about hipster bullshit, so I have to like just find enough of what I think is decent that I felt like got like snubbed in the in the grand scheme that might already like align with what you already like take in on your own, you know, because like you can have like a cup full of indie and it will keep you sustained for all your days, but like I'm so fascinated by what hipsters are obsessed with every coming season. This is why I read Pitchfork and all those magazines, because it's fun for me to see what like the snobby types. So like, this is true. It's like, Bro, what?
The sticklers that actually don't really got like much about them for real. They just act like they do.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get into that.
Like
Um,
essentially ingenuine me. That's what hipsters are.
yeah, that's what they were expensive. They're like it's funny. Like hipsters are kind of like rappers in the sense that all expensive, but it's not cool.
Yeah, essentially. Like I said, they're nothing about them seems genuine, but they're really opinionated.
Oh, buddy, like that's gonna be fire as hell to like get into when the time comes. This has been fun as shit. I knew this was gonna be we were gonna have a lot to say, and like the conversation does not end here. Just like pick up some fucking R&B, pick up some shit from a legend, pick up some shit from somebody you never heard of before, and then like peek outside to see what's happening outside of the country and see. You never know what the fuck will happen. I could have put some Omar Apollo on here, but I have yet to still get into his shit when the time comes. Who
I don't know.
also by the
Maybe
way
I start
had a
looking out.
motherfucking tiny desk.
Maybe I start peeping out the window a little more often. I guess I don't know.
That's what I'm saying, cause like we there is so much money to be made, and like it came up how like I was talking about like the Roots and Tank and the Bangers when they like went across overseas to just like like tighten the gears, and like with Questlove having like the picnic, like the Roots picnic, it's like this is where that shit can like be seen by an audience, which then can be seen by an even larger audience. But that's neither here nor there because I am not a booking agent yet. I'm Chris Kennard. That's good old Los Haystack West. If your music is dog shit, he hates it. And you know what we also hate? We hate.
Tell them what we don't hate.
Oh, what we don't hate. What we don't hate. I'll tell you what we don't hate.
Tell them what we hate first, though.
Tell what we hate.
We want to end it on a high note.
Yeah, we will end it on a high note. What we hate is we hate that UPS had to go on strike. Pay the motherfuckers what they owe. We hate that shit. Workers of the world unite. But what we don't hate, we don't hate how man, this is tough because I'm throwing this out. I'm throwing this to you out of nowhere. I want to make sure it's something that we actually really do. Or like,
you know what I don't hate?
What you don't hate?
Brittany Griner hitting the first dunk of the season.
Let's go.
Don't hate that at all. Let's fucking
go. Hey, ballers, ball. Hey, thank you for bringing it back to basketball because I want you to like. There's this anime I like. It's called Kuroko's Basketball. It's a high school basketball anime, and like the first 10 episodes, I want to like get your reaction to because some of that shit is like like I was definitely just like shouting at my computer during like the ending of one of the episodes because
bro. I've heard of this show.
You have to fucking watch the first 10 episodes of Kuroko's Basketball. Like, what about watch the dub? It doesn't matter. It's so fucking. It's so dramatic, intense for no fucking reason, and it's like this is why I like sports. Like just like the drama of it. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's about like a LeBron-esque player. Coming like his Japanese kid played ball in the States, came back to his home country to like play high school basketball. Like, bro, like you Japanese kids ain't playing like the American kids, bro. I'm about to smoke all of y'all.
I'm already hip.
But there's like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? But like the first 10 episodes, like the enemies, like they be like
put me onto it. I forgot the name of the like show.
Yeah, Kuroko's Basketball is fucking heat, dog.
Yeah, like my coworker, he was telling me all about it, and I was like, yeah, this sounds pretty dope. I gotta get hip to it. And
it's on Netflix, so like it's the first 10 episodes. I think we'll hook you for real. Show. Yes, cause like I gotta like get your reaction to it. So like episode by episode, I need the playback. You know what I mean? That's what we don't hate. We don't hate basketball. Fucking ballers ball. You know what I'm saying? Like support your local team. You know what I'm saying? Like. Find an activity you're passionate about, like this shit we're doing here. Drink your fucking water. Wear your masks. If you like our show, you can like pay us in the doobly doo. Like we have the cash tags in there. If you want to help somebody out there who's struggling more than you are, there's mutual aid in the John. All 4 songs are in a playlist. You can click on that. Subscribe if you want. I don't give a shit. It's cool. Leave a comment. Leave a hate comment. I don't give a fuck. I'll probably interact with it and make the video more popular. Look in the mirror.
Don't leave a hate comment. I'll come looking
All
for
right,
you.
don't leave a hate comment. Listen to Los, don't listen to me. But do listen to me when I say, look at yourself in the mirror and say I love you to yourself. Like, love is the way. Hate's easy, but like it'll kill you. Love is hard and it's more worthwhile. If you can't say that you love yourself to yourself, please know that I do. Please know that Los does in the most like platonic and supportive way possible. The earth will kill us all if we let it, but we can all live a long, happy life if we like learn to get along and shit like that. So I don't know, pick up a book or some shit. We love you. This has been Haystack Hate Your Music episode 7. Los, did I miss anything?
Support the writer's strike.
Yes. Oh my God. Fucking support the writers' strike. Pay the writers. I've seen some ads for some ABC television that I'm like, I can't believe this is on our. I'm so glad I don't pay for TV because I have to watch shit like this. No shade, but like
I'm gonna make it very simple for y'all.
Do it.
Back in 2011, we had a bit of a writer's strike. It was like a holdout of sorts, right?
Sure.
Do you remember what was going on instead of actually like written out shows over the summer of 2011, Ducky?
No, what?
We got Jersey Shore because of it. Support the writer's strike.
I would definitely one of those motherfuckers watching the Jersey Shore.
So was I, but we don't want that again, do we? No, we do not. All right, we're because that's all we're gonna get if this writer strike continues. We're gonna get nothing but reality TV shows and reruns because that's all they can do with TV at that point. No writers. They gotta come up with like
shit, no movies.
They gotta be looser with acting and such. So that's the outcome because that's what happened last time. History does nothing but repeat itself.
It's facts.
Take it from me. Take it from Ronnie.
Take it from Ronnie. Paulie D and Snooki, dog.
Take
the situation. Shout out to the situation.
Take it from Paulie D.
I don't remember anybody else. I don't remember anybody else for that show. Man.
Take it from Vinny.
Vinny. Yeah. Shout out to Vinny, bro.
Take it from Sammy. You know what I'm saying? Like
Ron. Hey.
Ron, stop. Is that what you want?
Hey.
Because that's what you're gonna get.
Yo, JWoww, call me.
That's crazy.
That's why I'm editing the show.
But I get it. I understand.
Hey, y'all. Like, it's been a pleasure. We'll see y'all next time. Enjoy your summer. Love, peace, and chicken grease. We out.